This is how you can stay consistent even when you feel like giving up. Even when you're going through a time in your life where you don't want to continue anymore with starting a business or being able to quit your job. And I want you to know that that's okay to feel like that. And ultimately, there will be days, there will be weeks where you do simply feel like giving up. And you'll tell yourself that, you know what, actually, screw it. I'm just going to stay in a job for the rest of my life. I'm just going to take a salary. I've had those thoughts on so many occasions, not only leading up to when I was going to quit my job, I felt like giving up, but even the moment I just left my job, I felt like giving up because I was struggling a bit and the way I'd done my finances, I hadn't done it properly, and I felt like giving up. And I was looking for shifts to go back to Tesco's, do some. I was working as a quantity surveyor, and then I was looking at shifts at Tesco's to just try and get some money in. That's why I say to people, like, there's no nobility in quitting your job early. You don't need to do that. Get your income up on the side and then make a decision about quitting. But I quit early and it was tough for me, and I thought about giving up. And from that place there was like a fire in me. It was a drive to not go back to work that quickly, and that's where I found I got a client signed up. But that wasn't the last of it. You know, through my life, through the business life, I have had times where I felt amazing and I have this huge success, and oh my god, I'm making loads of money, I've got all these clients. And then other days where it is just feels like the pit of despair. Things aren't going right. And as my friend Rob said to me, he said, look, the highs of business are amazing. The lows of business they're low. They are deep lows. But that is what's so exhilarating about it. Where with the job, it's like, okay, it's good, you got the security, but it's just steady, it's just boring every single month. The highs and lows of business bring some excitement into your life. But remember, the highs and lows are always increasing, they're always growing. So a low that you have today will be higher than a low that you had maybe 6 months ago. And when you think in those terms, you're always going to be increasing and in an upward trajectory as well. But just remember, those thoughts are normal. And if you feel like giving up, like I've wanted to do on so many occasions, and just jack it in and go back to work and just live off a steady paycheck, just got to remind yourself, well, then what? So yeah, do you know what? If you want, stay in that job, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You just got to ask yourself, what do you want for your life? So if you're okay with your boss giving you 25 days holiday every year, telling you can't have a pay rise, but then they show up in the staff car park with a brand new car, or your holiday request has just been denied because Susan's taking her family on holiday first and she requested it first. If you're sick of that and the office politics, then that's your sign to keep going, because you can go back to a job and you might feel better for a bit, or you can stay in that job and you might feel better for a bit about it. But what's going to happen in 12 months' time? Those same thoughts that you're having about wanting to leave your job are just going to creep back in anyway. And so then you got to think with that, it's like, okay, what's the alternative? Naturally, you want to create a vehicle which gives you enough money for you to be able to leave your job, but also that keeps paying you and replaces your income. That's where the freedom, that's where the independence comes from, where you're earning money on your terms, not from somebody else. And that's what I want from you. That's what I want for you. I want you to see that success and know it's achievable. It takes time. But maybe as well, think about this. If you feel like giving up, maybe it's a time that you do need to just take a time out. Now that seems counterintuitive to what I've just said, but hear me out. I was once struggling so much in my business, and the amount I was working so hard and I was doing so much, but I wasn't getting any results, and it was frustrating and it was wearing me down. And my coach at the time, Cassie was her name, she said to me, she's like, take time out. Like, when was the last time you actually just had some time for yourself? And this was around COVID time and things being on lockdown, and so I hadn't really gone anywhere. And things had opened up, and I decided to go away for 5 days hiking in the UK. That's something I really enjoy. I went away and I came completely switched off from. I came back and I made more money in my business than I had ever done before. I'd signed up multiple clients for thousands of pounds. I was chuffed to bits. But it just showed to me that sometimes you need to take a break in order to move forward. You need to have a time out in order to make progress and to move yourself. And you can keep banging your head against that brick wall. But do you know what? The idea And the energy to move forward is going to come when actually you step away from it and get a clearer head. Now, if you're not in a capacity where you can go away for 5 days, that's okay. But maybe you do just have a day where you just switch off and you just have an evening and just enjoy Netflix, right? Get a takeaway for yourself, get a pizza, get an Indian takeaway, whatever you like, whatever you enjoy, get that for yourself and just have the night off to, right? It might be a hobby that you've put to one side that you haven't taken up for a while. The problem is when you're doing that every single night and it becomes incongruent, because on one hand, people say, yeah, I want to set up my own business and I want to be able to quit my job. But you actually look at their life and every single night they're just watching Netflix. They're just binge eating bad food for themselves. And they're just lazy and they're not doing anything. That's incongruent. But if you've been working towards your goal and you've been working on your business, you've been getting it set up in the background of your job, on the side, on your evenings and weekends. Do you know what? Every now and again, it's time just to look after you, celebrate you, have some time off, recharge your energy levels, and then go back into it the next. It's about being effective. It's about being efficient. That's when you're going to make the most progress. If you're just trying to grow a business from a place where you're completely exhausted, you've got no energy to do anything, you're going to have a hard time making progress. And I can say that from my own experience because I've been there myself. You're banging your head against a brick wall, you're not getting anywhere, and you think the answer is to work harder and do more. Do you know what? That is not the answer. It doesn't. The way to help is by becoming more effective and being more efficient at what you do. I've said it before, there's only one, right? So as soon as you're burnt out, you're done for, right? Game over. Because I've seen people who have burnt out and it takes them years to get back to a place. I don't want that for you. I want you to build a business that's supposed to add to your life. It's supposed to give you freedom. It's supposed to make you feel good. And I want that for you. It's challenging. Remember that? It's challenging. It's going to demand the best of you. But in order for it to demand the best of you, you got to be in the best shape. You got to be in, and that's physical, mental, emotional shape as well. So take care of you. And this is how you stay consistent towards your goals. And you can also just keep things very simple for yourself. I see people with 1,001 different ideas. They're doing a bit of this, they're doing a bit of that. They've got this business on the go, they've got that business on the go, and they're never making it. One business, one idea, one product or service to one type of client. That is it. Solve one problem for one type of person and just work on that. And you will hear this as well from a lot of people who are successful in business. They will say exactly the same thing. Why? Because they've been in that position before where they're doing all these different businesses and they might make a bit of money, but they're just burnt out. They keep it one business, one problem, one product and offer. That's what you need. And you just focus in that. That's why I say to people with social media, if you're marketing on social media, in the beginning, just focus on one channel. Like all these social media channels work. LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, they all focus on one first, master that and get into a rhythm of it, build up the momentum, the energy in it, build some interaction in it. Then you can move on to the next one. But I see people, they're trying to be on every social media channel at once, posting 3 times a day, and they can only do it for a week because they're completely drained, they're completely exhausted, and they can't keep it up for them. So for you, just keep it simple, one channel. Okay, so that's how you're going to stay consistent on this journey. If you feel like giving up, great, that's okay. It's an okay thought to have. Don't feel guilty, don't be beating yourself up for it. It's an okay thought to have. It's just a sign for you to maybe recharge your battery, realign with why you're doing it, and also just to look at what you're doing every day. And are you doing it in the most efficient and effective way?